I'll do an intro here in a second. If you would, Virgil, make sure that there's everyone's muted out unless we need them to respond. I will be asking questions though on this one. Just trying to get this connection here going. All right. Looks like it's working now. A little bit of a slow lag for some reason. Virgil, am I coming through okay, video and audio wise?
So far, so good for me.
Cool. Okay, looks like we're live here. Let's go ahead and start the recording. All right. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you're watching or what time it is. And especially hello to those of you out there on YouTube. Hey, so this is the Monday Mastermind. We've been doing this now for over 4 years. We have not skipped a beat. Every Monday at 12 Eastern Standard Time, we come together. We talk about our wins. We celebrate those wins. We bask in the glory of those wins, with our colleagues. Then we have a little bit of a training piece. We open it up for questions, comments, criticism, but there's always some fun as well as some gold nuggets that we like to drop. This is week 41. Today, we're going to be diving into more of the psychology of attraction, putting some of the things together that we've been talking about all the way up until now. You know, if you're paying attention at all, it is October 13th. So almost half of the month of October is already gone. Pretty soon, before we know it, if you sneeze or you blink, the rest of October is going to be gone. And then November, then December, and already we're into 2026. So, wow, what a year it's been. It's gone by pretty fast. And if you don't pay attention, you lose sight of what your goals are and you don't hit them. So a lot of the things that we talk about here is trying to help people go from that 9 to 5 to what I like to call time freedom, which in essence just means that you're working for yourself, calling the shots, enough so that you're paying your bills, you're happy, you're comfortable, and all that fun stuff, right? So that's what the show is all about. Appreciate you all being here. Anybody have any wins that they'd like to start us off with? Hey, Virgil. Appreciate you being here. Monday is my favorite day, TGIM. Keisha, start us off. Thank you, my friend. Great to see you too, by the way. Missed you
Yes,
last week.
I've been out. My mom had surgery, so I
Oh,
was
oh, how's she
away
doing?
with her at the hospital when during the last session. So
You doing good now, I hope? Better?
she still has limited mobility, but she's doing okay.
Sending some
So
love and light her way.
yeah, she can't really like lift anything more heavier than like a half gallon of milk right now. But other than that, she's
Goodness.
doing okay. She's walking around, she's talking.
Good. Well, that's good to hear.
So
That's a win.
um it is that is my win that mom is doing well because I was at pre-op with her the previous Monday and then last Monday I was with her having surgery, so that's
Good.
why I was not on.
Got you.
But I am glad she's doing okay. My brother and I were cracking jokes the entire time, so that was actually so it kept me from stressing out.
Good.
We were having a lot of fun with this one. So it's not that it was a fun situation, but this family is very irreverent when it comes to hard things.
Well, I mean, if you take everything so seriously, right, it can affect you, especially emotionally, right? Like
Exactly.
I always talk about balance. And I'm seeing this trend lately here with um, some of my friends, just unfortunately not enough balance in life and having tragedy and things happen around them and not knowing how to handle those tragedies and things around them.
I'm not gonna lie, right now I'm a little off balance
I can
for me,
understand.
for me. But I'll find it again. I'm not worried about that. I think I'm allowed to have a minute of I need a breather because I've been literally in a tunnel for the longest while. And with everything that's been hitting me all at once, it's like I had to just take a deep breath.
Right.
So, but I am doing a lot better now. So
Good.
that's my win.
Yay. Well, glad to have you back. We missed your face. Good to see
Thank you very much.
you. Virgil,
I
what you got?
missed you guys.
Uh, Actually, I want to rebound a little bit on what Keisha said because I have a motto, and I think it's a good one for everybody, or I would share with everybody. If I can smile through it, I can get through it. And I think sometimes that humor is one of the best medicine in times of hardship. It allows you to see that there is joy in even in the darkest time, and that's important. So I applaud that. That's definitely a win. Keeping that moral and that energy up there. That's definitely a win, Keisha. For me, my big win, I think, is consistency. So far, I haven't let go of these goals that I set for me to achieve in these targets. And as a matter of fact, because of that consistency, I can see the work piling up and the calendar is getting a lot fuller. So that's good. And it brings you back to that cycle of discipline and balance so that you can actually keep up that rhythm and achieve in all those different direction that you might be pursuing right now. So consistency is a big win, and that actually I got off a meeting um, this morning about a new partnership that this ticket I'm pursuing is going into, and that's opening up a new realm of networking. It's a content creator that is becoming an ambassador for the product, so adding his voice to it, and that's bringing in my expertise in marketing, allow me to apply everything that we've been uh, going through together again. So once again, practicing everything that I've been preaching, which is a great exercise, and even have more another client meeting right after our session, which is again this opportunity that opened up um, a few days ago, and that's actually a win, but not a good one in the sense that it's going to be the third appointment that we had together because I missed the two first one. And after I missed the second one, I was sure that the client was going to cancel because that's a lack of professional attitude. It
Sure.
wasn't to fault of mine, but it was something that happened. But even after these two missed meeting, she's still ready to make time to discover our service. So I think she has gone over our content and is pretty satisfied with what we're being able to create. So in that aspect is a big win, not a win in discipline, but at least a win in this ability to retain the interest of the client, even when there's a fault there. So it's something that I have to make sure to capitalize on or be aware of. But these were my win for this week.
Excuse me. Well, you know, something to be said about that. It's all in the delivery, right? Especially if it's extenuating circumstances that didn't allow you to meet when you were supposed to, right? As long as you built that relationship and stuff. So I'm glad to hear that it didn't fall through the cracks, so to speak. So that's definitely a win. Definitely a plus, my brother. Good. Good for you. Thank you for sharing.
Pleasure,
Looking
pleasure.
forward to hearing more too about the whole team atmosphere we were briefly talking about and whatnot. And if there's anything that we could do to offer any advice, obviously let us know.
Absolutely. That is being ironed out still, but there is still communication. And I think that's the biggest thing, even when there is, even when the boat is rocking, as long as every sailor in the boat is still communicating and sharing info, even if they don't agree on what direction to set sail in, I think that's the biggest thing because it allows for that bond to be, well, mended, or if ever there's an issue there, communication is a must. So I'm glad for that as well.
Well, for me, again, that same word balance is coming up for some reason. Out of nowhere. It's weird because look, I can say honestly from my heart, like it's taken me 56 years of my life to find the balance that I have now. You know? It's taken me that long. Well, technically probably 50, let's say 54 years. Because it's taken me that long. Well, 53. 53, because it's taken me that long till I met my wife and got into this house, and now I'm at the position that I'm at, having the balance that I have to where, you know, that that whole thing that I want to help people do is to be able to, like my mentor taught me and told me is like to be able to go to sleep when you're rested, or excuse me, wake up when you're rested and go to sleep when you're tired, do what you want to do and be happy doing it? So balance, my friends, balance. We got to find balance in our lives. Once you find balance, it's a beautiful thing. And that means everything too, like spiritually, internally, externally, friendships, loves, whatever, So appreciate you sharing, brother.
100%.
Let's get that balance. Dale, what you got, brother? Got some wins to share?
Well, a couple. One, I actually have through the software. I actually have like 60 friend requests out there building my audience,
Nice.
and five of them have already accepted, and I've at least sent them I've at least sent them an opening, open the doors, said, hey, look forward to our friendship, look forward to chatting.
Sweet.
And
What I'm talking about.
I haven't had I had one respond to that, and we started talking, and then they disappeared. So, but they are. I'm noticing that he's commenting on my stuff, or at least engaging with my stuff. So in that, I make sure that I at least acknowledge
Yeah.
that he's taken the time to at least read what
Yeah.
I post and support it. And that's really, as I think the longer I'm working with you, Robert, is it's not so much the business aspect,
I,
is it's getting people to know who you are,
sure.
and to get to the point where, like that guy I was telling you a couple weeks ago, where the second we started a conversation, he pitched me, and so at the end he asked me, well, why didn't you want this? And I said, because you, without even knowing who I was or anything else, you pitched me.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm not here to be pitched or to pitch. I said, I'm here to support people on Facebook and help them uh, grow in any way that I can. It's not about, the business aspect at this point. Um, so um, so that was a win. And the other thing, I managed to get on and do my. Took me a while to get through all the the um, the new the video producer and all for the live from a desktop.
Right.
But and it was a little rocky, but it's the first live I've done since like 2021 or 2022. So I actually on Sunday did that. And the last insights I looked at, I had like 70 people see it
I know.
and like a couple comments. So I figured, considering you know how inactive I've been for so long,
Right.
that's not a bad that's not a bad first shot. And I'm going to try to either today or tomorrow do a follow-up with that after I added the video. I'm thinking, there's a few more things that you and I talked about that go in line with that. Of basically free space you could take advantage of on your profile if you're so inclined. That I didn't mention. So I'll probably do a follow up either, if not today, because Wife's PT is today, but maybe tomorrow, and
Sure.
just add those couple extra things. Um, because again, it's all about providing value, and maybe nobody sees it, and maybe people see it, but they don't necessarily reach out. They don't necessarily comment. They don't necessarily um, engage right away, but they watch. And so you never know when that breakthrough is going to happen. I mean, how many times have you told us you talk to a prospective client and they're like, oh yeah, I've been watching you for 6 months,
Yep.
or a year.
Yep.
And it just, because again, it's all about timing, right? And all of that aspect. It's always what's right for the prospect. It's never what you want. And I
Amen.
think that's what a lot of people online don't get is, they like, I have an ad supplier. I told her, I said when I'm ready, I said I'll contact you. And every freaking 2 or 3 days, she's in my inbox. And finally, I told her, look, I told you I will reach out and we'll discuss it when I'm ready. I don't have the budget now. And it's just, I knew after I accepted her friend request and I looked at what she did, I should have done the reverse. I knew this was going to happen. And sure enough, because I've had the experience before.
Now
But
you want the answer now and what you can say? Now you can go back to her and say, no, actually I have some mentoring and I don't need paid traffic. Ah.
well, I mean, it looked, pretty reasonable. So I may, once I get things rolling,
Yeah, of
and I
course.
know I'm spending money on something that I know is going to bring results,
Right.
I may go back and investigate it and see, because you
And
never
and
know.
I did see that live by the way, and I think you did a great job, especially for not being on for so long. I think there was plenty of value in it. It was perfect, brother.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
And
So,
congratulations and kudos for being coachable.
well, it's all about being coachable. If you're not that, you got a problem, right?
That's it.
So those are my wins for last week.
Good job, brother. Appreciate you sharing those with us, man. Good stuff. Vicky, what you got? Got some wins to follow up with?
Well, I'd say my biggest wins this past week was, I have an actual team now to support and, just like managing, what all I need to send them. And I have my own group where I can like put all the information into the group. And so I think that the biggest key for me is balance, time management. I have to, yeah, I'm taking away time to help these other people. I'm not focusing time that I need to be keeping the income coming in. So I have to find that balance
For sure.
between the different areas. And so that's where I am this week. But I'm excited about all of it. It's good, positive stuff. There's nothing I can't fix and figure out. I know that. So I'm not down about it or nothing. I'm just pushing forward and doing the
No,
best I
you're
can.
you're
Loving
good.
every second of it.
You're in what I like to call a sweet spot, Vicky. You may or may not know it, right? And although we've seen you growth, like it's been phenomenal to watch you grow. Now you're getting people underneath you signed up. Now you're getting a team. Now you have to manage the team. Like it's all been beautiful to watch. When you're dealing with multiple companies, right? The best thing that I can explain to you is that you're always going to keep the one that's going to make you the most money on the forefront of your mind. You always want to make sure that you have some kind of focus to it. When you lose your focus on that and you start getting distracted with other things, including working with your team, that means that some of that money will drain away because you're just not focusing on it, right? So even if you have to make that, like we talk about being able to do a pin post, maybe that's a pin post for the week. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Make
I'm
sense?
pretty fortunate in the fact that one of the businesses merged the other business into it. So that means less advertising because I'm killing two
Right.
birds with one stone. But what
Right.
I'm doing is I'm making up a whole new campaign specifically for me and my team that's more focused. It's going to tackle everything and include at the back end some other things. So I'm working on all that. It's just taking time to do it. So I think it's coming out beautiful. I think it's going to be really
Uh,
good. I just got to just keep at it. So
I
I
absolutely,
love it.
I love it. And that, my friends, is what you call stepping into your power, stepping into leadership. We love you, Vicky.
Vicky House, good Watley Unleashed.
Congratulations and good job, and thank you for sharing all that. And Keisha
Thank
said,
you.
"What you focus on multiplies." Absolutely, right? But if you don't focus on it, it's not going to multiply anyway. Anywho, thank you all for
That's
sharing.
right.
Anyone else got any last final shares? If not, I'll go ahead and start our slides here. I got some slides. Thank you all for sharing. Thanks for being here. Appreciate y'all. Some pretty interesting stuff. Like I said, this is week 41, and we're going to talk about the psychology of attraction. And what I want to do, in essence, is kind of put together some of the things that we've been speaking about over the past year since went live in January. Can you guys all see the screen? Give me a thumbs up if you can. Cool. Awesome. Took time to make these cool little slides. No duct tape, but Rita's not here, so we're good. Anyway, so if you're new around here or if you haven't, seeing us on YouTube for the first time or whatnot, a lot of different things that I like to teach and bring to the market. And the biggest thing is sales psychology itself. When you couple sales psychology and knowing and understanding a little bit more about the law of attraction, as an example, a couple weeks ago we talked about Mike Dillard's magnetic sponsoring and how to create some of those lead magnets. So you're going to hear some of that information today. And if you've been following us, a lot of this might be a refresher, but as I've mentioned before, many times, as long as you keep showing up, which is the biggest part of this, right? Eventually something's going to click or something that you didn't know before, you're going to catch on, which is why I jokingly but seriously say that we drop, gold nuggets and sometimes gold bars around here because it's really about putting all those pieces together. Like Rita says, it's connecting the dots. And many times, just from experience, don't blame me if you're a guru and you're watching this, don't get mad at me. But people tend to make shit way too difficult, right? They make things difficult and then they don't explain it in such a way that, like we're supposed to. We're supposed to be able to explain this stuff so simple that a fifth or a seventh grader can get it, right? If you can get those connections, eventually, like you hear a lot of us marketers online or offline say, this then becomes very easy. Once you understand it, it's just like as if you were in a 9 to 5 job, you had to learn what that skill set is. And it's not just pitching and selling, right? We know this, especially if you've been around me. If you're still out there trying to pitch and sell, do yourself a favor and stop it. Like the Bob Newhart video that I love to share with people. Just stop it. It's it's not the way to do it. And this is something that I had to find out the hard way. After coming off of the street of doing 20 plus years of direct marketing and just pitching and closing people, doing what we used to call power closing people. Like, yeah, just go get your bill here. We're lowering your rate, whether they wanted it or not, they got it. But it's not like that in the online world. And if you're out there and you're doing some of these things that other people are doing, Unfortunately, it's kind of not their fault either. It's just what they know. It's what they've been taught. At some point in your journey, you're going to run across a mentor, a friend, a coach, a leader that understands how this stuff works. And, a lot of them were going to come from here. Haha. Right? And again, it makes it a lot easier. What we want to help teach people is more of the law of attraction using sales psychology so that you can create lead generation that pulls people in so that you're not the one that's out there hunting people and trying to get people to join your business because that's the wrong angle, right? If you had two paths and they both led to the same place, one went left, one went right, right? One path is going to be completely different than that other path. That path on the left can be riddled with all kinds of obstacles and failures and all that stuff. That's the path you don't want to go down, right? So when we're talking about leads and attracting them, right, it's not like you go get leads. This is what we want to understand and use psychology so that we melt it into our brain so that we really get it. We're not getting leads, we're attracting attention. This is the single most thing that is valuable right now in the marketplace is how are you going to grab somebody's attention, right? I wish I could remember the line that Tammy and Chris say all the time. It's a beautiful thing. Like they're buying for it. But a lot of people think like lead generation, it's about like chasing more traffic. And then I've heard other people, gurus especially, talking about, well, let's scale your business. What I've learned is whenever somebody says scale your business, that means put money into advertising. And we're not trying to teach people to do that. That's not what we want to teach you. If you're going to run any ads, we briefly spoke about this before and before the show, you have to make sure that you have your systems in order and everything's in place so that you're not just torching your money, right? That's a big problem, a big no-no that people come into the industry and they try to put money towards it without having a system, without the right campaign, without the right wording, without the right conversation, right? And then they fail miserably and then say, oh, it doesn't work. It does work though, right? But the truth is, you don't need more people. You just have to have the right message. When you understand this and you have the right message, that makes the right people just kind of lean in. I don't know how you guys remember that commercial, E.F. Hutton, if you're from the United States. When E.F. Hutton talks, people listen, right? You have to have that kind of effect to where, oh, they're saying something again. What is it? Not, oh my God, there they go, saying something again. What is it now? Right? There's a difference there. That's why even the stuff that you put out on social media, although you're fighting an algorithm, you still have to pay attention to what you're putting there too, because everyone sees it. Even if you're not getting the likes and comments and you don't think that everyone's seeing it, and they may not see this particular post or that particular post, but everybody sees it. And it goes to what Virgil was talking about with the consistency thing as well. How consistent are you? Are you consistently miserable? Are you consistently complaining? Or are you consistently saying, hey, get in my business, get in my business, get in my business? Are you drowning your audience out? Or are you attracting attention? Right? Are you being the leader that we talk about so that you actually become the leader that people want to follow? Hmm. Let's talk about it. Because people don't follow words, they follow energy. If you've been around me long enough, what do I say about a sale? It's not as this exchange of, here, I'm going to give you $20 for your time. It's none of that. It's literally, it's a transference of emotions or a transference of energy itself. It's from your tone, your posture, your confidence, right? And especially if you're doing videos, that's all talking to that person without you even talking to them. That's your clone doing the work for you, right? We mentioned that at the beginning of the call. I've had several people say, yeah, I've been watching, I've seen your posts, I've been watching you from afar, I've this, I've that. Before you even know that they're watching. Another key thing that I used to tell everybody too is pretend everybody's watching. Especially in the direct marketing world, I tell my students, pretend. Because when you're out there knocking on doors, you don't know. It could be that little old lady up in the second floor window, peeking out the side of the curtain, watching you, right? Don't think that people aren't. But there's a difference between, having people watch you and then having the right audience when you're trying to show a specific kind of energy and where you're trying to focus that energy on, right? But leads respond to certainty, not scripts, not um anyway, they don't respond that way. If you're going to use a script, it has to be very well rehearsed, and it's more of a script that's going to be better in a direct marketing environment, or it's mini scripts like what I teach, like how to just even have the introduction, what to say when they say hello back, those little things that Dale briefly mentioned. But think about your energy. Even now, where's your energy? If your energy says, I'm unsure, your prospect feels it instantly. So you might have heard me say before, if you're not in the right mindset or mood, don't even sit in front of your computer and try to do this job. Don't do it because your energy is going to flow. And this that we're on, this Zoom, though I love the way that my mentor puts it, and Facebook and all of that, it's all energy portals. We're dealing with an energy portal here. We're all here with our own energy in this little portal, right? But if your energy says, hey, I can help, now they'll lean in, right? But if you're like, hey, I can sell you stuff, well, think about what that magnet's doing. It's overpowering that person and then repelling that lead from you, right? Here's something else I want you to think about. The moment you seek approval, you lose power. Let's say that again. Write it down if you need to. So if you need that for motivation, the moment you seek approval, you lose power, right? Leads don't want another friend. They want a leader. We've been talking about this. You've seen prime examples in Vicky and our other leaders here, Keisha and Virgil and Dale, right? Authority is going to attract, right? It's creating that safe environment. It's creating certainty. It's creating a place so that people know that they have some type of direction. When the energy shifts from do they like me to I can help them, you move from more of a persuasion to influence, right? And what we're trying to do is we're trying to teach people how to use this so that you're more of an influence than an annoyance. Right? We talk about this all the time. Two big things that we want you to get good at. We talk about this in Inner Circle. We teach it is to learn how to ask the right questions and tell stories. And some of us don't tell our story enough. Many of us tell our story, but then we don't tell the story the right way because we don't know what those elements actually are. So here you go. Here's the four key parts of a story. Write them down if you need to. Incorporate it. Go to ChatGPT. Hey, I need to create a story, I need to use a hook. This is the emotion I want to convey. What is the lesson? And get a call to action in there. Right? And I'll tell you this is very important because pay close attention to what I'm telling you. We have artificial intelligence, right? And a lot of us will go, and I used to do this when we first started out with it, is just copy and paste. You can't just always just necessarily copy and paste. You got to read it out. And when you're reading it out, when it's being written, we can't think also that, okay, about what our thoughts are about it. Ultimately, it's what is the reader's thoughts about it. If your story, and I'm saying this very specifically to be clear, because I know if we're using now side, it ends up asking these questions, and I'm not putting anybody down for what they're using, what they're doing. I just want you to be aware. When you ask a question within your story and it is too deeply rooted, and that person reading it has to think too much, they are not going to respond. Everybody raise your hand. Give me a 5 in the chat area if you just heard what I said and you understand what I'm telling you. You have to understand this, guys, because you can go out there, we can use ChatGPT, and it's like, oh man, I love this post. Man, it's gonna get tons of likes and comments, and then next thing you know, it's like crickets, right? Right? You guys know what I'm talking about. Potentially because it didn't have these 4 things, and that question that you're asking at the end is too deeply rooted. So you want to keep any questions that you're asking simple, preferably close-ended, so that it's just a yes or a no. But if you're telling your story, you have to have some kind of hook that's going to draw them in. And then what is the emotion that you're going for? What is it? Oh my God, was it overwhelm? Was it grief? Was it despair? What was it? And then what was the lesson? What came out of that? How can it benefit somebody? And then what's the call to action? Look, if you've been going through that same thing, join me on Wednesday. I'm going to talk all about it. Right? But the secret is to tell stories where your audience sees themselves inside that journey. You're literally, like we used to talk about and train in the direct marketing industry, you want them to visually see a picture. And the more you can have them see that picture of them inside of that story, the more compelled they are to take action, right? This is why, and I'll tell you in case you haven't heard this before, this is why, and it's a beautiful thing, some of the tragedies and things that you have overcome in your life could be the exact same thing that other people need to help them overcome those exact same tragedies, my friends. You understand? Because it's not about impressing, it's about connecting. Just like what Dale had mentioned before, right? You want to connect with that person, not sell them. Connect with them. Find out what's going on in their life. Find out if they even have a need for what it is that you have. And if you have a solution to their problem, then hello. It's not hard to transfer that emotion or that energy, but not before you've built some kind of relationship, not before they know that they can trust you. But if you're here, there, and everywhere else, how can they trust you? Right? So, story magnet formula: hook, emotion, lesson, call to action. By telling those stories, it literally starts sucking them in. Okay? Here's something else we want to mention because we talk about this all the time too. People don't buy products. Right? They're responding to triggers, and it's always going to be emotionally first. They're going to respond emotionally before they think with their mind. That's just how those things work. The biggest one that we talk about is curiosity. If you go back to day 5 boot camp, if you don't know what I'm talking about, get with us. It's been out there. My buddy Brett, God rest his soul, and I used to put on a paid 5-day boot camp. We used to charge $197. We offer that for free now. Day 5, Tom and Jerry, curiosity. If you don't know, you should. Better ask somebody. Get access to it so you know what we're talking about, right? But think about what is going to make them pause and want to know more about what it is that you're doing. Relatability. If they have that thought, wow, that sounds like me. Yeah, I struggle now with such and such and such and such. Authority. They clearly know what they're doing. Like you can look at somebody and tell, okay, this person knows what's going on. Or based off of how they deliver the message, you're like, it's a natural thing that we have as humans, right? Call it a bullshit trigger, whatever you want to call it. I smell BS, right? You guys know what I'm talking about. You've heard people talk and you're like, starts out real good and then, oh, yeah, I don't know. Causes doubt in your mind. It's because of what they're saying and how they're delivering it, right? Then you've got social proof. If you have people on your post and they're saying, "Yeah, hey, this is the greatest thing since sliced bread," join it, get your copy, grab your book, whatever it is, right? This person's the best, they're the bomb. It's going to be easier for other people to trust, especially when there's a bunch of people saying the same thing. And then here's the big one, future vision. Remember me talking about telling your story and having them inside the story? That's where it has to connect to whatever their vision is. Why do you think that's one of the questions that we ask when we pre-qualify people? What's your vision? Ah, if we didn't have any aha moments, right? This is why we do that, right? Okay. So your words create gravity, even though I'm not a big firm believer in gravity. Yes, I know I'm one of those guys. Yeah. Your words create gravity, right? And I fixed this morning because while I was doing this, I was like, you know what? This is right. This is the time that ChatGPT was right, and I had to say, oh, you know what? You're right. Instead of it telling me I was right. Ordinarily, we would say, I help people. Well, if we want to be magnetic, I show entrepreneurs how to attract clients effortlessly by, right? So your message itself either repels or attracts. There's no neutral. That's the lesson here in this, right? So we got to think about our brand and what does it say as an example to show you what I'm talking about. Do, 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 do. That, I changed it. I show coachable entrepreneurs how to elevate their business with sales psychology. And then if they go in here, here's my story. This is what Dale was showing on his video, his live video that he did. All right, there's the story that speaks to their pain so that they can be inside of that story, right? Make sense? I'm not sure what happened to Dorea. See if these will load 1 second. There you go. Everybody see my screen still? See the slides? Cool. So think about your words and what's in that banner. What is it saying? also what is in that story, right? Think about how can I be more magnetic if you're putting it in ChatGPT? How can I take this and make it more magnetic for those that are reading? Because again, it's not what you're completely thinking, and that's the beauty of ChatGPT and other AI, is because it can help you make those different word salads, if you will, right? Make them sound a lot better, but put in there and say, I want it to be magnetic. All right. Many times I'll use irresistible influence as part of the prompt. Hint, 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 hint. Gold nugget, gold nugget. All right. So create some gravity. And then let's talk about this. Because of the fact that there are so many different platforms out there, there's Alignable, there's Facebook, there's Instagram, there's this one, there's that one, right? You don't have to be on all of them. But what we want to recommend is to dominate at least one, right? And then repurpose whatever you're using on that one to those other platforms, right? You don't have to be trying to make different content for those different platforms. However, be smart about how you do the content. And what I mean by that, and I'll be very clear on this because I've talked about this many times before, being somebody that was started off in social media when social media was born. I mean, MySpace, hello. Me and Tom were best friends. When Facebook came out, I was on it. Instagram came out, I was on it. When TikTok came out, it was called Musically. I was on it. I was on it before it was TikTok, right? But the point is that you don't have to necessarily try to like create different content for each one of those things. Just be able to understand how to take the content that you have and repurpose it in those other spots. Because what I'm getting at, without being so long-winded, is I didn't like the fact that I would put something on Facebook and then I'd go put the exact same content on LinkedIn, the exact same content on Instagram, right? You guys know what I'm talking about? And then at least with ChatGPT, then we could say, okay, well, we could change the wording. Well, now we could do pictures so we can create and develop different pictures, right? But the problem with that I have seen and I've mentioned before is that what happened when all of these new things came out and they were those little those little distractors, if you will, and we joined it. Well, we went to Facebook and we say, here, follow us on Instagram, right? Here, follow us on this place, follow us on this. So a lot of the same followers tended to find us or follow us on those same platforms, right? Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? You with me? Right? So that was the thing that I didn't like to have to do. And this is why I'm explaining this to you because you don't have to do that. You don't have to be the repetitive person and still be able to have some great content. You just have to be able to repurpose things the right way. As an example, what you're going to see from me on my Facebook, because that's the one that I tend to dominate, is you might see one or two of these slides that you've actually seen today just as a way for me to repurpose the content. Or I might take a small portion or a clip of this video here to repurpose it on TikTok as an example. Make sense? But find the core platform and then repurpose the other stuff on different channels so that you grow little by little throughout. But again, we're going back to these words we started talking about, and we mentioned at the very beginning, focus, consistency was the biggest one. And with that, you'll have some visibility. And with that visibility, if you're putting out the right content that we're talking about, especially based off of day 5, and we're not out there just trying to sell things, and maybe we have a pinned post up for the week on Facebook and we nurture that post, whatever, right? Short of that, then you're going to be putting money towards ads. But again, we're not saying to do that until you know what you have works. Your system is set up, right? You want to make sure you know that people are actually attracted to it, they're liking it, they're commenting, they're sharing it, they find it of value, right? Those kind of things. In fact, it's about creating and starting those conversations. This is another thing that we talk about, right? 5 conversations per hour. Well, how are you going to do that? We have to create these different methods of conversation or these different doors that we can open and close. But they're all bridges. They're all going to be bridges to whatever that decision is. In our case, what we talk about is look, try, or buy, right? But there's a flow that goes behind that. As we mentioned before, within that story, there's a hook. And then there's a question so that you shift the momentum. And then you're trying to get that micro yes. You've heard us talk about this, right? And you build up with the story so that you can build the emotion and the connection. And then that's where the invite comes for that look, try, or buy. So we broke this down a little bit more. Virgil, you see that? How we did that from last week and what we've been talking about, right?
Absolutely.
You like that? I figured you would love it if nobody else would. But each one is
It's
stacked, right? It's that trust and emotion, and then taking whatever the cold contacts are and then warming them up into eventually committing to join your business. But they have to see themselves in that picture, right? They have to see it. So use those conversations as bridges. Pay attention to your time while you're having those conversations, and then ask yourself, is this conversation going the direction I want it to? And if it's not, you have to change the direction or get out of the conversation. Hey, Virgil, I'd love to sit here and chat with you all day long, man, but I gotta get some work done. Let's make an appointment. You want to chat? Let's say if you don't hear back from me in like a week and a half, give me a call. That's what I love to do. Here's another little golden nugget for you. Put it on them. Hey, if you don't hear from me in such amount of time, reach out. What does that do? That has them coming back to you instead of you chasing them. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Can you repeat that one more time?
Yeah, Vicky. So if you don't hear from me in, let's say, a week and a half, feel free to reach back out to me. Super simple line. And you can even include in there, Vicky, which makes sense to say, yeah, because I get really busy. Include that in the line. It's real. You do get really busy. You're not lying. Just most people don't say that because they don't think about it. They weren't taught that, right? Again, it's what we're taught. But I'd rather say, hey, yeah, if you don't hear from me in a week and a half, 2 weeks, reach out to me. This way they're coming back to me and I don't have to like, oh, okay. And then on top of that, double it up if you want to be real, throw them into your CRM, put them on a 2 week rotation so that if they don't come back to you in a week and a half, now you're back to them in 2 weeks. Saying, hey, I didn't hear from you. Everything okay? Now what does that do? Think about the psychology of that. Holy shit, this person actually cares, right? So again, we're not here to sell. We're here to help people. But what I love about this little thing too, and this will be part of what I'm going to be showing on Thursday, is the model itself for network marketing or affiliate marketing, or what I love to call myself being a compensated endorsers. It's a beautiful, simple concept. You share whatever that product is, other people join and you earn. There's nothing like this model anywhere in the world, my friends. I'll take this any day over a 9 to 5 job. Any day. Especially if I'm in sales and I've got to continually sell to make ends meet, right? What am I saying? Be specific. If I sell and I'm only getting paid one time for that product, I'm going to always have to sell. But if I'm in an affiliate or network marketing or MLM business, I only had to make that sale that one time. And then that recurring income comes every single month, right? All my job is to do after that is make sure that my people are happy, make sure that they're still taking the product, right? Check in with them. Hey, how's it going? How's your day going so far? Haven't heard from you in forever. How are the wife and kids? Right? Doesn't have to be about business. After that, it's about nurturing that relationship more, right? But the simplest and most powerful way to attract momentum is through magnets, right? Not mechanics. Although you have to have a system in place, it's magnetism is what we're going for here, right? So that again, you're not the person that's out there chasing people down and they're coming to you saying, hey, I heard you were the person to go to for such and such. Oh, so and so referred me to you. Those are even better. I get those all the time too. Those are great. Best form of advertising is word of mouth advertising, my friends. You can't get any better than that. But again, it's not about chasing, right? It's about building those relationships, getting some gravity there, telling your story, and ultimately it's all psychology. When you guys learn this because you've been hanging out with me for long enough, you'll start seeing differences and things happen like Vicky talks about, like Jackie Truby talks about, like everybody else that does what we show them talks about. But we had to mention that one last thing that our fortune favors the follow-up, right? If we don't set out that intention for them to call us back or reach back out in that week and a half, and we don't go over them and have that follow-up to say, hey, I didn't hear back from you, then that's where things slip through the cracks, right? Or hey, there's these people here that got on the list, but I haven't done it. I haven't sent them an email yet. I'm gonna get around to it. I need to. I know I need to, but right? Get the message out. Get the follow-up out. Talk to them because again, it goes back to those contexts, right? You've heard me talk about this and why I recommend 12 emails instead of just five, right? That eighth to 12th contact, holy crap, man, the ability of the percentages of them joining the business are way higher there, right? And most people stop. They stop after one or two attempts, my friends. Are you kidding me? Don't stop after one or two attempts. You need to be at least 12. If you haven't reached out to that person and said hi at least 12 times, you haven't even begun to follow up. You hear me? Everybody nod their heads and agree with Robert today. I'm going to make sure that I follow up at least 12 times with every person I know. And like I show, those in the inner circle, go through your list and say, how much do I know about that person? I don't know them. When's the last time I got in touch with them? That's a person you need to click on. That's a person you need to go message and say hi. Right? Make sense? Day one, thank them for connecting. Dale knows this. He's learned it now. He sees it. Maybe the third day, if you need to, you can share a quick value tip. Hey, thanks for the love and support. I noticed on my page, I noticed that your header wasn't branded properly. Hey, one thing that I learned in class or coach, mentor, I don't know, whatever the heck, right? Was that if you have this here and then you have your story here, it'll probably give you better results. See, Oh, well, cool. Thanks. Who does that? Who goes around and just like the magical fairies gives all the go-go juice and drops the golden nuggets, right? Who does that? Cool people do. Be cool. Day 7. Hey, do you see my message? Day 10. Invite them to your next training, right? You'll have to figure out what your follow-up is going to be. Maybe it is every 2 to 3 days. Figure it out. But ultimately, we want to give value first and then earn the attention second. Right? Your audience doesn't wake up wanting your product, right? And I've said this plenty of times, not everybody is your customer. They wake up wanting a solution now, right? If you show them that you have the solution and you lead with value, you position yourself as the expert that they trust. And maybe that value that you're giving away, like that golden nugget, is like, I can't believe that this is free. You didn't charge me for it, right? Like the 5 day boot camp that we used to charge $197 for that I give away now for free. I get people to tell me that. Well, I can't believe the information's free. Last but not least, repetition builds reputation, right? So you have to be there in the trenches. You have to be there, like I said, 4 years now, every Monday, 12 Eastern Standard Time. Haven't missed a day. That builds the reputation. People know I'm going to be here every Monday. They got questions, whatever. They need to share their good stuff. They want to learn something. They know I'm going to be here. I got the nickname the Blakester from being repetitive, from being that make shit happen person. That was the whole way that I even got that name. All right. But the key to magnetic lead generation isn't the volume or how loud you are. We talked about that one before, is the rhythm. What is your rhythm that you're into? Because people don't trust what they occasionally see, my friends, right? But they do trust what they see consistently. Every post, every message, every follow-up builds that brand called you, right? So lead with value, speak with confidence, attract with energy, and then it's your turn now. Apply the psychology that we're teaching of attraction. Now that you understand, if you didn't before, how it works, ask any questions before we end the show or link up with us inside the group or join the inner circle, even better. But today, I challenge you to create one post or message that tells a story that people can feel. Use the formula we talked about: hook, emotion, lesson. What was that lesson? And then what's the call to action? And if you're saying, comment down below, and that comment to action is the question that is too, it's going to make that person think too much, then know that you're not going to get the response that you're looking for, right? But then do that to see, watch how it changes how your responses are. Watch how the crickets go away and people actually respond. You'd be like, oh, okay. I do have 2 people in my audience, or 5, or 10, or whatever it is, right? But then little by little, that's where you have to build that audience out. And then you're priming that audience, in essence, for the things that you normally like and put out. And you're also trying to see what is it that they like as far as content when you put it out. Because again, it's not just about you, it's about what is the person on the other end of that seeing, right? So that's all I got for you guys today. I trust you guys got some golden nuggets. Thanks for attending. We'll open it up. Any comments, questions, criticism? You guys get some value out of this, I hope. Ultimately, the message is always just keep showing up, right? Keep showing up, keep growing. Sales psychology, what we're teaching here is not about manipulating people. Okay. I say this all the time. Don't be trying to use this for bad, right? I always think about I always think about Spider-Man and Stan Lee. God rest his soul. You know, with great power comes great responsibility. But it's about being that magnet, right? Leading with your heart, serving with confidence, growing to be that leader that people want to follow, and the rest will follow. So, Keisha, what you got, my friend?
I was just backing you up on a couple of your slides. That make a connection, um, be the solution and not trying to
Mhm.
pitch. Because like when I speak to people, I I have lots of things to offer, but I don't try to sell you anything till I figure out who you are, where you are, and where you're trying to get to. Because my pleasure comes from getting people from where they are to where they want to be. And I can't do that if I'm pushing my agenda. I have to listen to find out what your agenda is. If I see there's a fly in there, I say, well, I understand where you're trying to get to, but I see this as an obstacle for you. And
Mhm.
this is how I can help. And
Right.
people tend to appreciate that more. And even with the follow-up, I have this thing I do with my inner circle where they know I'm not going to call them every day. I may not call them every week, but I will call you. I will send you a random text every now and again. Go, you breathing? And it's an inside joke because my friends know I can not hear from you for 5 years, but you can pick up the phone all of a sudden and say, I call you because I need a ride from the airport. And I'll be like, okay, I'm available. I'll come get you. It's because we've built that rapport. And I can do it to them also. I can not call somebody for a year and call them for a favor. And because I've already built the rapport, I can do that. Now, if I didn't build that rapport and I just don't call you for a year and then call you for a favor, you're going to look at your phone like, who the heck is you? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's the difference. You can get away with things, and I say get away with, but I don't mean it in a scammy way. You have more flexibility when you make genuine connections.
100%, my friend. 100%. Good stuff. Well, I appreciate y'all being here. Everybody's dropping off the line. They got other Zooms to go to. Remember when we used to do this and it was 2 hours long? Good thing we don't
I'm
do
here as
that
long
anymore.
as you need me.
Oh no, I'm good. We're good. We condensed it down to 1 hour, but we used to go 2 hours. So anyway, appreciate each and every one of you guys. Go out there, kick ass, take some names, enjoy your week. We'll see some of you guys on Tuesday and Wednesday, and that's all I got for now. Toot toot, love you. Bye bye.
Hey, is the recording off?
No, now it is.
Okay. I have a question.
I have an answer.
I want to know, okay, something that's like really been bothering me. Okay.
Okay,
I mean, we're
sure.
striving hard to build trust, build trust, build trust. I can constantly see a particular person, no names mentioned, saying, oh, well, they got this lead and they're all excited and and they've shown interest, but there's a survey question and they've responded that they have no money to invest at this time. Are you just going to discount them even though they show motivation and they show that they can do something? Especially if you know that there's ways to help them start earning money themselves so that they can then invest. So it's like, it's to me, it seems hypocritical.
What part is hypocritical?
Are
So
you
just let.
only focusing on if you're only focusing on the fact, oh, well, they don't have money to invest right this second, then
Yeah, those are
then
well.
you're going to blow off people that might be good people and might turn out to be one of
Well,
your better
so
people.
yeah, so you already know the answer to this question. You just
Hmm.
said it right
I
there.
do.
And
Yeah.
if it's that's the case, then you're not talking to the right target audience to begin with. You're just talking to people that have no money or say they have no money, and the only reason that they say they have no money is because not enough value has been built there. or they legitimately don't have the money, right? But many
You just shouldn't
times,
just pass up. Get to know them better first, and then see what their real story is. That's what we're supposed to be doing, not just discounting, discounting,
no,
discounting. The minute they answer a
no,
survey, they
your
don't have
business,
money to invest, right?
your business
Okay, so
will
I'm
never
on the right
grow.
wavelength with that.
Of
That's
course,
what I just wanted to justify what I thought I knew.
100%.
Yeah.
But there's nothing wrong with if you see some magic within somebody to allow them into your circle or whatnot without, if you find that connection, like, let's be clear who I'm talking about, you. Like I found that connection with you. You
Yeah.
remind me of my sister a lot. So
Hmm.
when things were going well for you, I'm like, yeah, because I knew, Vicky, I knew you would be where you are. I knew this. You understand? I've
Taking a
trained enough
long
people. I
time.
knew. Well, I mean, think about the challenges and adversities that you've overcome in the meantime, though, right?
Hmm. Yeah,
So,
I just to go with what I know and what my gut says. Don't and just like try to just ignore it because if it's not worth stressing me if I don't agree over the
yeah,
text
then what,
message
how much is
being
that
scared.
monthly that we're talking about? What is it, $5, $10, $15?
No, the ultimate goal on their end that they're trying to get is $250. You know, at least a minimum having at least $250 to
Oh,
invest.
so they're saying, okay,
But
you don't
it's
have the
divided
250,
up
so I'm
into
gonna let you anyway.
segments. Uh,
So is it
it's
like, okay, you don't have the 250, I'm gonna let you in for free?
no, they're already in for free.
Okay.
But then what I don't like is he's not even reaching out to communicate with them because they don't have money to invest. He's just crossing them off the list and going next, next.
Since
And
it's,
even
since it's
though a
you and
person's
I.
shown up to meetings and is showing that they have potential, in my heart, I can't do that. If someone is showing me they have potential and really are trying and wanting to learn, I'm not going to just discount them because they have a hard time, then I'd be a hypocrite because I
Well,
have a
yeah.
hard time. You know what I'm
Well, the
saying?
ones, the ones who show up are the ones that matter the most. So if they're showing up, absolutely pay attention to them.
Finally, one time I just said, well, I'm sure glad you didn't discount me. I mean, and then I shut up. But I mean, it's like ridiculous. It's like, it's ridiculous to me. And it was very upsetting. So I'm like, so I got to just channel that. Go with my gut, what I know, what I've been
Well,
taught,
I don't know the whole
and stick with that.
dynamics.
Just throw
Is
the
there a
rest
way
out the
that
window. Yeah.
I don't know the whole dynamics, but is there a way for you to work with those people and then say, okay, let me work with them, and then when they upgrade, give me the commissions?
Well, I started to say that. I mean, because who better to help them is someone that struggled so much themselves. You know, when there's a will, there's a way. When you have a want and truly want to reach something, you find a way to be able to do it. Whether you can't,
Uh-huh.
it might take a little longer than you hope, or you might shortchange yourself 1 month and not be able to do it, but you keep pushing forward for what it is that you do want.
That's
You
right.
don't just discount the person. I don't know. It just kills me. But
No,
I
I've
just wanted
never,
to make
and
sure I
I'll
was
tell you
going
this
with my
like
gut.
this. What you want to go back to is the same thing that I've taught, this already, is go back to, what kind of customer are they? Are they going to be an apple, an orange, or a coconut for you? And then you determine
That's right.
how much value that you want to get out of that person and how much time you want to spend with it. But if you see
Hmm.
somebody and they're showing up, fuck, that means they're showing up. They want it. So
Hmm.
yeah, take some time, teach them.
Even came to training. I
Yeah.
mean, I mean, everybody would love people to just show up for their training. This guy showed up and has been following all the directions. The only thing is he doesn't have money to invest yet. But there's ways to show them how to get that. I mean, he could,
So what I
you know,
would do, if we were talking about one specific person, I would have the conversation with him and find out why he doesn't have the money, right? Odds are there's something, most likely it's going to be a mindset issue and a lack of skill set.
well, and here's another thing that just is a kicker. You're not allowed to talk to nobody. If you didn't sponsor them, you can't talk to them.
Right.
I'm like, look, I've known people for 30, 20, 30 years now. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
You can't tell me who I can and can't talk to, for God's sakes. Just because I didn't talk to them, just because I didn't sponsor them in this program,
Right.
doesn't mean I haven't known them for 15 or 20 years.
Right.
You know
Exactly.
what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
and then that gets helped. It's like,
But
well,
as
you
long as
can't,
you're
you
working
can't
ethically,
teach
yeah.
a network marketing mindset, but you're not allowed to network. I mean, come on.
Yeah, that's kind of stupid, and that's another reason
Come on.
why I joined some of
Yeah.
those companies because they have that mindset and that
Yeah.
mentality. But either way, as long as you're always working ethically and nothing can come back and bite you in the
No.
ass, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm. Well,
But
no,
yeah,
I'm
no,
not
just
looking
because
to
people
steal
can't
other
afford
people's
to do it.
people. But if you're just
Why
going
does
to
it
throw
think?
away a person, let me help them with my through the traffic exchanges or something.
Yeah,
Show them what needs to be done. Give them time to build up that money they need by showing them, ways they can make affiliate commissions. It might take longer, but that person looks like somebody that'd be willing to do that work. So
right.
why just discount them? I
Well,
don't, I don't get it.
you
I
don't.
mean, so
That's
many people could have just
person.
thrown the door at me and said, "Oh, sorry, you have too many struggles. You have too many problems. I'm just not going to include you." So many people could do that and they didn't. And it benefited me in the long run because if I'm growing and I'm learning and I'm sharing and giving back, you know what I'm saying? So
100%.
I don't know. It just
I
that was
believed in
just
you, girl, and don't
the
let it
raw
get to you.
spot. The money's very tight. And I will get there, but I have to just keep working at getting the consistency in the sales, but I don't want to focus on money, money, money. I want to focus on doing it right. And so
That's
that it
it.
does flow consistently. And so that's what I'm doing. But I didn't get another
A
sale
lot
yet.
of that, a lot of that, so you know, is going to come from your website and your branding and what you have out there as a lead magnet.
Mm, yes. I
You
do
know?
have a plan though, and it's
Oh
just a
yeah,
matter of getting it implemented. So,
for sure.
and it takes time. So,
Yep.
so
I
I see
know it
more
does.
now than I did this time last year, and that's because of you, you
Look,
know,
I'm so proud of you. I
and in
really
the
am.
work that I've done. So
Absolutely.
just bear with me, please.
No, no,
Look for
I
the
always
leggy
have.
jumping on
No,
my shirt.
I told you, I've believed in you from the beginning, my friend. You know, and I'm even happier to see Dale coming around too. Like, and he's now getting it. It was to me, Vicky, I was gonna say earlier, why do you think I only charge $50 a month instead of like 250 or 100? Like I could charge a shit ton more. I could be a guru and charge 1,200 bucks or all that shit.
Well, that
But then
250 is
people like
divided by
you or
four
others,
steps. Yeah. So they can work
whatever,
their way into it. They really just got to come
whatever.
up with $50, just like me, trying to come up with the $50. So
You
it's
know what
like,
I'm saying though, right?
I do.
I mean, and it's people like yourselves and others that need the information the most. How are you going to keep them from getting it by putting a high ticket on it? Well, sure, if they want it bad enough, they'll go get it like I did, but still, there's still that lower percentage of people that can't because they don't have that skill set or the right mindset. So,
And I can't even begin to tell you over all these years how many people have said that they don't have money and
yeah,
they are just in fear of it's a fear of thing. They actually some of them have more money than I even have, but they're saying they have no money. You know what I'm saying?
sure.
And I can tell you about being broke.
Hey, so I got a question for you before we end the call. Are you
Hmm.
ready to do a video testimonial for me?
Sure. I'm not good with videos yet.
No. Good with
But
video.
yeah, of course.
I'm just looking for a testimonial on the lost transition, what you've learned. I mean, just speak from your heart. Like this time last year, you didn't have it all together, whatever, you know. But I put in inside the group, so you'll have to go to the group, Lost Transition or the Inner Circle. There's a link you click on. It's got backups, testimonial generator. You familiar with that?
No.
That's one of the new tools in the Pro.
I'm just having such a hard time with the value of got backups. And I can hear you every week saying how, this, that, and the other. But other than the fact that it does save your data, I just, I've been, I guess I put a negative thing in my mind and it sat there when I lost my rank because they changed compensation plans. And then I
Yeah.
lost my whole team because of they changed their compensation plan. So it's like, and then I just haven't ever focused on getting that one person on the right side again. After that, it became a back burner.
You know what I can say to that?
Hmm.
I know exactly how you feel because I also lost rank. I was at a
Hmm.
platinum, now I'm at a gold. All I need now, though, is one of my people to get one more person, and that'll take me from gold into sapphire. So that'll make a huge difference and a huge jump.
Wow.
So don't discount what you have, especially if you're on a leg that you've got a bunch of people that are on or underneath, because all of that still contributes to it. You just have to have the main qualifiers, right? Which is copper and help people get copper and copper and copper and copper. So
Hmm.
don't don't put it completely out of the picture. To
Well,
me,
no, I still utilize it. It's a great. I back
well,
my
but I'm
system up,
saying get people involved though too, little by little, because
and I'm
it's
planning
a
on it on the back
long-term
end.
thing is the way that I look at it. It's not, you know what I'm saying? Like my goal right now is to simply get, well, I had five people that I wanted to get. I've already brought one on, two more I'm waiting on. But my only goal is to get five before the end of the year. That'll put me at least at 20 paid affiliates, 10 left,
Wow.
10 right. Well, I've brought in already 60 affiliates though, Vicky, over the past
And
two and a
I'm still fighting so hard to keep now site. I mean, that hundred, it's now $109. It keeps going up. I mean, I could have asked him about it, but and then they say they added this social content and all this other stuff.
well,
And
that's probably the
I
extra nine
asked them to
bucks.
take it
And
off because I didn't ask for it. They can't just charge me for something I didn't ask for them to charge me for. And so, I mean, I did send them that conversation, but I use it every single day in
good.
everything I do. And
Yep.
so I don't want to not have it, and I want to be able to do the website part of it, but that's that whole time management factor. I mean, I'm probably making that harder than it needs to be. I've watched you, I've watched Virgil. It doesn't resonate fast enough. It's resonating. It's slow. Yeah.
Okay. So why don't we do this? Well, what
And
part?
I have been trying to do the conferences, but I can't. My time is just, I have too much to be able, I can go, I can't spend my whole life in conferences.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? I got to get work done too. And
100%. What
so
I'm
I have to
asking you before you
choose.
get crazy, hold on. I'm just saying, why don't you schedule some time with me and then we'll go through and we'll screen share and we'll show you how to get done what it is that you need done. Not at a conference, like every month you're able to get in touch with me and we could do one-on-one session just like we're doing now. This just wasn't on the schedule.
Heck, I'm sorry. Yeah.
You know?
I didn't
No,
mean for it to go this long,
no, it's
but
nothing.
it was bothering me and I needed to get it off my heart. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And so
So,
now I can proceed
you know where my
positively forward.
calendar is, right? How to get on my calendar?
I think so.
Go to robertblakely.com. It'll take you to my now site. Click on the contact us and schedule some time. Schedule it tomorrow or the next day. Let's take a look at those problems. That's the whole issue of why I have that one-on-one so that we could tackle that shit. If you're feeling
Mhm.
overwhelmed because you can't do this, that, or the other, let's figure it out. Let's get your shit taken care of, girl.
Balance. And that was such a
Yeah.
perfect conversation for today, even though you didn't maybe necessarily mean to have that. It was perfect. So it was awesome. Awesome. Awesome.
It's not me, you understand that, right? I'm just a vessel. That's it.
Mhm.
So
Thank you so much.
get on the calendar and let's get that shit figured out, man. There's no that, man, no. I'm glad you brought that up.
Well, it also,
I
it
like
seems
those
like
too.
every time I make a page for something, then they change something. And so then I have to go back and edit it because now it's no longer accurate. So maybe I just need to rethink it to make my part more simpler. So when they
That's
do
what
make the
I'm
changes, it
thinking.
don't affect what I've got. Yeah.
That's what I'm
So
thinking.
that's,
I mean,
yeah.
as an example of
Hmm.
what you're talking about, I can think of one example exactly, and that's the inner circle coaching page. I have that all set up so that all I have to do is go in there and change the date, you know, so that it changed the timer on the page. That's it. Speaking of which, I gotta go fix that.
Well,
No.
I don't even know how to do the one group very well yet. I'm learning how to do it. I don't know how to add guides and stuff like that in the group.
Okay.
So, but then I would like to add it in the Teams group, but I haven't even done that yet. So
Okay.
it's just,
So
I'll get there.
write it
I
down.
know what it needs to be done. Yeah.
Write down what you need. And let's
I just,
get it done. Period.com. If
okay.
it needs to be on your
Have a good
remember me
afternoon.
talking about the 72-hour time frame? What is
I
it
think
that you
so.
need to get done within the next 72 hours? Write that shit down and start checking it off your list. That's the easiest way to have balance is learn to manage your time. You understand? When you learn how to manage your time, then you'll have more balance. As
I
an
did my
example for
post today
me,
on time management.
well, as an example for me, right? And you'll love this because the wife gets a kick out of this, and it's part of the story, and I love to tell this. So, although my wife is the greatest thing in the world since sliced bread, and I say she doesn't complain or bitch like normal women normally would, there is this thing that she likes to do about, oh, the grass is getting too high. Even though she
Hmm.
doesn't cut the grass, but yeah, I don't want to cut the grass and step all over in dog shit, which she's supposed to pick up the dog shit because those are her dogs. So there's this thing
That's
that goes,
normal. I would
right.
consider that a normal.
Well, it totally is, right? But the point that I'm getting at is
Hmm.
I go and make that a joke because if it rains around here, it gets too big, and then she knows I can't go chop the grass after it rains or whatever, right? So, but
Hmm.
anyway, so we'll go back and forth on this little thing, and I forgot now where I was going with this. It was kind of funny and cool. Um, damn, forgot my point.
Sorry.
No, no, that's okay. It's just quite,
But give her big hugs and tell her I said hello.
oh, I definitely will. I'm just trying to think of what I was trying to explain to you on that. What were we talking about just before that? Damn it. Oh, man.
72 hours. Uh,
Oh, that's it. And then normally, thank you for that memory jogger. So normally I'll wait until Sunday because that's my day off
hmm.
to do shit. But yet it might be Thursday or Friday and she'll say that little, oh, the grass looks like it's growing. I'm like, yep, sure is. It's growing all around that poop. You know, so I'll add to it. But then Sunday, I know that I'm going to get that taken care of. So even, I'm telling you, even my gaming, I have time for my gaming. I'll look at my clock, I'll see what I've got going on. Like after this, I'm probably going to go play a few games or so. I might even take
My son loves gaming. Yeah,
I just
he,
have to
he's
know, okay, I need this done, this done, this done. I know right now that I can't do anything with the lost transition until Wednesday because of Claude and its limits. So what am I going to do about that? Nothing. I'm going to find something else to do, something else that's constructive, do something else that I want. But again, it's just it's balanced because of knowing and understanding how to manage your time and that there's a time for everything. And it's not so much necessarily like you hear people, well, don't put off tomorrow what you can do today. I'm not saying to put shit off, but again, everything has an order and balance and time in which it should be done. You know, if it
mhm.
needs to be done, but you can't get to it right now, but it's got a 72-hour window, then cool. Then it's on the 72 hour and we make sure we get it done within those 72 hours.
I've got all these lists that because I have these regular conversations with Chat and with Gemini, and but I haven't had them in my own site's AI yet. But the but I have all these conversations and all these thoughts that I've been putting into there, and then I have all these things that I really want to do, but then like implementing them, like getting back to them and actually implementing them. But at least I have them all documented so that I haven't lost what I
Let me ask
put
you this
up
too.
here that I want to do.
One last thing that just popped up into my head. You're using ChatGPT,
You
you said?
procrastination came to mind when you said that.
You use ChatGPT, you said? Go
I
ahead.
like Chat GPT but I really like Gemini better. I
Does
mean, Gemini
Gemini,
builds
the reason
fantastic
I'm
images.
asking, I don't know if Gemini has this because I don't use it, but do you know ChatGPT has a voice feature, right?
I haven't discovered that yet.
So I don't know if Gemini does, but if you're using Gemini and you like it, see if there's a voice feature on there. And just like on ChatGPT, you can sit there and you can talk to ChatGPT. You know what I'm saying? You
Hmm.
understand what I'm telling you?
But what I probably really need to be doing is talking to my sites, Genius AI, so that I can get things going with my sites where I need them to be with that. But I haven't even taken the time to do that yet. I mean,
Well,
and that should be like top priority.
I don't know if you have voice technology for something like that, but what I'm talking about is like this on ChatGPT.
Hmm.
So, so I even named my hi Luna.
Hmm.
At your service. You know how I can help today.
So I'm talking to my friend Vicky here. We're talking a little bit about time management. Help me develop a time management schedule, if you will, or maybe a checkbox or system, or maybe, I don't know, recommend something that's going to be the best suitable tool for her to be able to help manage her time better, keeping in line with the 72-hour rule so that things that need to be done within the next 72-hour rule get done quicker. What do you recommend?
Absolutely. So
And then she'll just talk to you. Go ahead.
That's cool.
sure.
That's awesome.
70. Basically, building a little system where you have a checklist or a simple planner that just highlights what needs to be done within that 3 day window. You could use something like a digital tool like Trello or a simple Google Doc or even a piece of paper that just has what do I need to do in the next 72 hours? And then you check things off as you go. That way, you're always focusing on that short window and keeping things nice and manageable.
So that's kind of what I was getting at. So they'll talk to you now, you know?
Now, what resource did she say?
Oh, she's just saying, like I would say, there's plenty of things you could use, like Trello, or you can use even pen and paper.
Trillo.
Uh,
Trillo. Is it? Yeah, I don't even know. Is it Trillo? Trillo?
Trello, Trello, but even Google
Trello.
Calendar, you can use Notepad, you can use pen and paper. I've mentioned this before. The military, what they used to do is they'd show us to do it like this, to put the box and then to do just like this. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then once you did it, then choop, you check mark it off. Yeah, super simple.
Yeah, organization. And see,
Mm.
for 35 years, I had an assistant. So my assistant did all the
Yeah.
organizing. And so I'm used to handing off the organization to my assistant to do. And that's the honest to God's truth.
Well, now the
So
assistant is ChatGPT or AI or my AI, right? So
hmm
still have assistants, they're just artificial now.
yeah.
So get on
Thank
the
you so
calendar and
much.
let's fix whatever you got to get done. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Next day or two. What are you thinking?
Probably Thursday.
Okay. Schedule it.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're very welcome.